Thanks for tuning in, y'all. My name is Deatrice. I'm a 100% permanent and total disabled vet looking to help other veterans get their VA ratings up. So if you looking to get your ratings up or you looking to file your first claim, I'm going to give you 5 good tips, you know what I'm saying, that's going to help you win your claim. When I first found out that I was getting out the Army and I was going to file a VA claim, I really didn't have anybody to kind of reference, or, I didn't really know too much about the VA claims process. I ain't going to lie. You know what I mean? I wish I had somebody like me in my corner to kind of give me pointers. You know what I'm saying? It still turned out good, but that's why I'm sharing it to fellow veterans. So I hope y'all find this information valuable. Make sure you share it to another fellow veteran so they can benefit off this information as well. The first tip I'm going to give, don't listen to nobody that's not service connected, that never filed a VA claim before, or just don't really understand the process. When I was in the Army, I would hear certain things about VA disability, and they'll tell you, oh, if you just go to the doctor for this, or when you get out, you're gonna get paid for it. But they never really gave like detailed instructions on how you supposed to, talk to the doctor, how you supposed to word things, how you supposed to articulate your issues when you go in there. I think it's important, you know what I'm saying, just for your decision making and your overall mental health, to just watch who you take advice from when it comes to doing your VA claim. It's very important to educate yourself. You need to be educated on the VA claims process itself, as far as like the different steps, the timeline. Like right now, it's taking about 120 days to complete a VA claim. You should also be aware of different injuries and illnesses that you can claim. The best way you can do that, reference the VA CFR 38 Part 4. And that's going to have all the information about the rating scale, different injuries and illnesses that you can get rated for. They're in the requirements form. If you've been having issues in the military, or you had issues while you were in and you out, and you don't really know if you can claim that, check that regulation out. Check that CFR 38 out. Another thing you should definitely educate yourself on is your medical history. If you've been in the military for several years, you might not remember that time at AIT where, you know what I mean, you went to sick call for your ankle, or you went to see the doctor about your knee. It's good to just be aware of what you got going on. That way, when you file your claim, you don't hold yourself back. That's going to segue into the next tip. Evidence. You need to be aware of what's considered evidence. Evidence in this case will be like your medical records, of course, any imaging that you've done, your service records, any documentation that you got from an outside doctor that you might have went to, like a specialist, like a neurologist or stuff like that. That documentation, you need to make sure you have that as well, because they may have key facts, key details that might be able to strengthen your claim. So you definitely want to make sure you got your evidence, make sure you gather it up properly. Another thing that'll help you with like service records is because, for example, if you file a claim for tinnitus, if you got your service records that shows you were a generator mechanic, you were definitely working around loud noises, it'll make more sense and justify your claim for tinnitus. If you can show that you were in an environment that had loud noises, you were in an environment that could affect your hearing and stuff like that. That's another reason why you want to have your medical service records. That's the same thing for presumptive claims. If you were in an area that had toxic waste, or you was exposed to something, being able to show that you was deployed at this time, you was at this location at this time, that's going to help strengthen your claim. Evidence is very important. All right. So I hope that tip helped y'all. The next tip I'm going to give y'all has to do with the CMP exam. Is your time to shine. You know what I mean? That's when everything, you file your claim, you do your DBQs, you articulate what's going on with you to the VA, and now, you know what I'm saying, your CMP exam, it's time to show the physician, who's probably a third party contractor or something like that, it's time to show them what's wrong with you. Show them the extent of your disabilities. When you being questioned, if you are questioned about a disability, make sure you tell them the full extent of what your issues is. You might want to elaborate on when it started. You might want to go into detail about, the incident, how long it's been going on, the symptoms that you have. You may also, have like a lay statement, personal statement with every claim that you got. When your physician is asking you these questions and looking through your files, they got something to base. They got some kind of reference point. So they ain't got to guess. Definitely want to make sure you got all your ducks in a row while you doing your CMP exam, making sure you shine. All right. The next thing that you should know about the CMP exam is you should know how your range of motion is going to be measured. When you go to the CMP exam, they're gonna have an instrument to measure you. They're gonna say, bend over, and they're gonna measure that. They're gonna say, bend your wrist, do this, bend that, and they're gonna measure you. And your range of motion could definitely have an effect on your rating. You definitely want to have an understanding of your range of motion and what range of motion falls under what claim. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope that helps y'all, man, when it comes to the CMP exam. The last tip that I want to give y'all is understanding your decision. All right. So when you do get your award letter, when you do get your decision, it's very important that you understand what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? You can go through the documentation and it'll tell you why you got the rating, what evidence, you know what I mean? They'll also explain to you why you didn't get a rating. And they won't necessarily tell you what evidence is missing, but that's why it's on you to make sure you got all your ducks in a row. You keep things in order, keep things in a good chronological order. So if one of your claims does show you not really having evidence, then you can kind of know how to backtrack and figure out what you need to present based off of your medical history, the visits you might have had, stuff like that. All right. So yeah, man, I hope these tips helped y'all. 5 tips and the little gems in between. I hope it'll help prepare y'all for y'all VA claim. It'll help prepare y'all to, do a claim again. All right. So yeah, make sure y'all share this with a fellow vet. Subscribe, smash that like button, and tune in for the next video, y'all.